like to believe great music is universal, that if a band is good enough, the world will eventually catch up.
To Itchycoo Park, that's where I've been. What did you do there?
But rock history doesn't work that way. For every British band that conquered America, there were others who became huge at home, selling out arenas, topping charts, shaping entire scenes. Only to hit a wall the moment they crossed the Atlantic. Not because the songs weren't there, not because the talent wasn't real, but because culture, timing and taste don't always translate. These bands weren't footnotes, they were landmarks, just not in America.
Just sitting, watching flowers in the rain, feel the power of the
Band number 1, The Move. In the late 1960s, British rock was exploding with possibility, and The Move were right at the centre of it. Formed in Birmingham, they were bursting with ideas, sharp pop hooks, psychedelic twists, and a sense that nothing was off limits.
What am I supposed to do now?
The band featured Roy Wood and Bev Bevan, who would later go on to form Electric Light Orchestra. In the UK, The Move weren't underground, they were everywhere. They scored 9 top 20 singles, hit number 1 with Blackberry Way, and made history when Flowers in the Rain became the first song ever played on BBC Radio 1 in 1967. But momentum didn't last. A reckless publicity stunt involving Prime Minister Harold Wilson led to a lawsuit that stripped the band of royalties from their own hit. Success without security. In America, their eccentric, very British style never connected. Their chart presence barely registered. The irony is painful. One of their songs, Do Ya, did become a US hit after ELO re-recorded it. America didn't reject The Move, it never really met them.
Don't you like the way I seem to enjoy it? Stick my fingers right at your nose.
Band number 2, The Stranglers.
That sort of responsibility you draw straws for if you're mad enough.
Punk was supposed to be loud, young and simple. The Stranglers were none of those things. Emerging in the late 70s, they carried punk's aggression but twisted it with keyboards, dark humour and influences that ranged from jazz to classical music.
I'm a preacher like a Triton seeking water.
In Britain, that unpredictability made them stand out. They racked up 12 top 20 singles and 11 top 20 albums, becoming one of the era's most distinctive bands.
Make believe that I can see the tears that let me breathe.
Then came Golden Brown. Elegant, hypnotic and quietly unsettling, it was a hit that didn't sound like anything else on the charts. And that's exactly why it lasted. In America, almost nothing stuck. Their albums charted poorly, radio didn't know how to categorize them, and their British slang and offbeat image baffled US labels.
I said something better change. I said something better change.
Too strange for the mainstream, too old for punk purists, they fell between every crack. But the Stranglers never softened themselves, and in the end, that refusal became their legacy. Band number 3, The Damned. If punk rock has a starting pistol, The Damned pulled the trigger. In 1976, they released New Rose, the first UK punk single, beating the Sex Pistols to it. They followed with the first British punk album and became the first UK punk band to tour America.
See the sun it shines. Don't get too close or it'll burn your eyes.
Everything about their story suggested a breakthrough. In Britain, they thrived. The Damned scored 9 top 40 singles and 8 top 40 albums, constantly reinventing themselves. While other punk bands froze in time, The Damned evolved, moving through gothic rock, psychedelia and pop experimentation.
I'll be the Rockin, you'll be the porter, I'll be the bustle, and you'll be the...
Their biggest hit, Eloise, reached number 3 in 1986. In the US, momentum slipped away. Lineup changes confused labels, and their shifting sound made them hard to market. They were overshadowed by bands with cleaner narratives and clearer politics. They were first, but not remembered that way. History eventually caught up. America just didn't. Band number 4, Madness.
Father wears his Sunday best. Mother's tired, she needs a rest.
Most Americans know Our House. In Britain, that song is just the tip of the iceberg. Madness weren't simply a successful band. They were a reflection of everyday British life.
Having fun and playing pool, smashing up the woodwork tools, all the teachers in.
Rising out of the late 70s ska revival, they mixed punchy rhythms with sharp humour, vivid characters, and stories pulled straight from schoolyards, streets, and council estates.
Brushing hairspray, plastic, windows, clay on a corner, there's just walked in. Welcome to the house of...
In the UK, it clicked immediately. They scored 9 top 10 albums and 16 top 10 singles, with songs like Baggy Trousers and House of Fun becoming cultural touchstones. Their music videos were everywhere. Their personalities were unmistakable. Madness felt local, and that was their strength. In America, it became the problem.
Sisters saying in her sleep, brothers got to keep it.
Without the shared references, Cockney slang, British school life, London humour, the songs lost their emotional weight. What felt observant and relatable in the UK came across as quirky novelty in the US. Madness didn't fade though. At home, they remain national treasures, still filling arenas decades later. Sometimes music travels best when it doesn't travel at all. If you're enjoying these overlooked rock stories, there are plenty more where this came from. Feel free to like and subscribe if this kind of deep dive is your thing.
To Itchycoo Park, that's where I've been. What did you do there?
Band number 5, Small Faces. Despite the name, Small Faces were giants of the British mod movement. Fronted by the explosive Steve Marriott, the band blended soul, rock, and psychedelia into something distinctly British. Raw emotion wrapped in sharp style. In the UK, they were unstoppable. They scored 5 top 10 singles, including All or Nothing, which hit number 1. Their 1968 album, Ogden's Nut Gone Flake, also topped the charts and is still considered one of the era's defining records. America, however, barely noticed.
You can miss out school, watch that be. Why go to...
Itchycoo Park cracked the US top 20, but the momentum stalled. By the time labels tried to push the band stateside, the British invasion was fading, and louder, flashier acts like Hendrix and Cream were taking over. The irony cuts deep. When Marriott left, the remaining members regrouped with Rod Stewart and Ronnie Wood to form Faces, a band that did conquer America. Same musicians, same talent, different timing. Everything changed. Band number 6, Saxon. When heavy metal surged in Britain at the dawn of the 1980s, Saxon stood right at the centre of it. They were leaders of the new wave of British heavy metal. Loud, fast, and unapologetically direct. In the UK and across Europe, Saxon were festival staples. Albums like Wheels of Steel went top 10. And songs like Denim and Leather became anthems for metal fans who valued grit over gloss. In America, though, the door barely opened. Their albums struggled to chart, especially compared to peers like Iron Maiden and Judas Priest. The problem wasn't the music, it was the moment. US metal in the 80s was drifting toward image, spectacle, and MTV-ready theatrics. Saxon didn't play that game. They stuck to denim, leather, and raw power. That choice cost them mainstream American success, but earned them something else entirely: respect. Saxon became a band trusted by fans, even if the charts never reflected it. Band number 7, Slade. If you grew up in Britain in the early 70s, Slade were unavoidable. They were loud, colourful, and built for mass sing-alongs. With Noddy Holder's raspy voice and Dave Hill's outrageous image, Slade became glam rock royalty. In the UK, they scored 6 #1 singles, including Come On, Feel the Noise and Mama We're All Crazy Now. Even more remarkable, 3 of their singles entered the charts at #1, something almost unheard of. They weren't just successful, they were communal. In America, though, Slade never fully broke through. Their biggest US hit didn't arrive until 1984, when Run Runaway reached #20. That was it. The irony stings. American bands like Quiet Riot covered Slade's songs, and those versions became massive US hits. The music worked, the hooks worked, the name didn't. Slade conquered America, just not with their own faces attached. Band number 8, T-Rex. In the early 1970s, Britain fell completely under the spell of Mark Bolan. With T-Rex, Bolan turned glam rock into a cultural moment. Between 1970 and 1973, the band scored 4 consecutive UK #1 singles and dominated the charts with albums like Electric Warrior and The Slider. Bolan wasn't just a star, he was a fantasy figure, blending glitter, mysticism and swagger into something magnetic. In America, only part of that magic translated. Get It On, retitled Bang a Gong, became a US top 10 hit, but little followed. American rock culture at the time leaned toward grit and realism. Bolan's theatricality felt alien, almost too stylized to trust. Then it ended abruptly. Bolan died in a car accident at just 29. Still, his influence echoed far beyond chart positions. Without T-Rex, glam rock, and much of what followed, looks very different. Some artists don't need approval to leave a permanent mark. Band number 9, The Jam. As punk evolved into something sharper and more focused, The Jam became its most precise voice in Britain. Led by Paul Weller, they dressed sharp, wrote sharper, and spoke directly to working-class life. Their songs were about bus stops, boredom, frustration, and pride. In the UK, it resonated deeply. The Jam scored 4 #1 singles and 9 top 10 hits, with every single they released reaching the charts. Tracks like Going Underground and That's Entertainment became generational statements. In America, none of it landed. Their biggest UK hits barely registered in the US. The reason wasn't the music, it was the specificity. The Jam sang about Britain without translation. Council estates, tube stations, small-town stagnation. While other bands aimed for global slogans, the Jam focused on home. That choice limited their reach, but solidified their meaning. Paul Weller went on to be crowned the Mod Father, and the Jam remains sacred in UK music history. Universality wasn't their goal. Honesty was. Band number 10, Status Quo. To understand British rock, you have to understand Status Quo. For decades, they were a constant. Boogie-driven riffs, denim-clad performances, and relentless touring. In the UK, they racked up 60 chart singles and 27 top 10 albums, 4 of them hitting #1. Their music wasn't flashy, it was dependable, familiar, built to last. Their defining global moment came in 1985 when they opened Live Aid. 2 billion people watching worldwide, and the first sound they heard was Status Quo's Rockin' All Over the World. That should have changed everything. In America, it didn't. Their only real US hit was Pictures of Matchstick Men back in 1968. After that, nothing stuck. Critics called their sound repetitive, too simple, not exotic enough. But in Britain, none of that mattered. Status Quo didn't need American validation. They became legends at home and stayed there. Some bands chase the world. Others build something that never needs to leave. So these weren't bands that failed. They were bands shaped by place, by language, humor, image, and timing. Their music meant everything where it was born and almost nothing where it wasn't. Not because America rejected great art, but because culture filters what it understands. History doesn't remember everything equally. It remembers what travels best. Now I'm curious. How many of these bands did you already know? And which one do you think deserved a real chance in the US? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy stories that dig past the obvious names and into the overlooked corners of rock history, feel free to subscribe. There are plenty more stories like this waiting to be told.